I think I used to fall into the trap of assuming that eventually I would get to a place where maybe I would just grow by accident. And I'm realizing in real time, as we're talking about this, that I have this common pattern of getting a really good, big, aligned opportunity and then forgetting how much I had to pour into myself first in order to get that opportunity. And right now I'm working on breaking that cycle, but if you stop pouring into you, you're the thing that got the opportunity in the first place, and it was probably your growth that brought it into your life.
One of the early personal development speakers, his name was Jim Rohn. Back in the 80s, there's a speech on YouTube that I frequent, and he said, you got to work harder on yourself than you do at your job. And I think that a lot of times, to Kevin's point, when you get a big opportunity and you start grinding and you start doing it, sometimes you lose sight of the fact that you're working harder on your job than you are on yourself.
Next Level Nation, today for episode number 2019. You have to focus on your growth first. A lot of momentum over here at NLU, a lot of opportunities, a lot of new clients, a lot of things happening, events and group coaching and all sorts of different stuff.
Leather-bound books?
Many leather-bound books. And I have found that I tend to fall into a pattern of getting really good opportunities and then really, really forgetting about the fact that I have to pour into myself first. Why are you smiling, sir?
Because every now and then when we do a certain episode, I go and grab a book from my bookshelf.
What have you today?
This is the very first book. So, Kev, I looked this up yesterday with Brandon.
Yeah.
I posted on March 28th of 2021. I posted a picture of me in the studio with this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I said our very first Next Level Book Club session is going to be this Saturday, which was April 3rd. So on April 3rd, which is in 8 days.
Something like that.
8 days. 8 days. Is going to be our 4th year of book club.
That's wild.
But anyways, the reason I grabbed this book is because in this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of the principles of personal development is sharpen the saw.
I believe that's the last one, right? Is that the 7th habit?
Let me check.
The 7th one's my favorite. That way you have to read through the entire book.
It is. Nice job.
The only reason I knew that is because I was literally going to suggest doing an episode on those habits, and I was looking up all 7 of them.
Nice.
15 minutes before you and I met today.
Habit 7, sharpen the saw. In other words, what's the quote where if I have 4 hours to chop down a tree, I'm going to spend the first 3.5 sharpening the saw?
Seems a little reckless. I do think the ratio is off.
Yeah.
I understand the concept.
Kev would just start hammering that.
You're gonna sharpen. You can sharpen it too much. You're gonna get to it. You're gonna sharpen it down to a nub. It's gonna be one of those pencils you just keep sharpening. You know?
You ever do that all the way down to the bottom?
Yeah, of course, yeah, all the time. My thought process with this episode was, oftentimes our growth does not seem. Yes, it's important, but it doesn't seem super important in the micro. So let's say I wake up tomorrow and I have a list of 15 things to do that need to get done tomorrow, quote unquote. It's easy for me to say, well, I don't have to do mobility today, or I don't have to get my 30 minutes of learning today. It's easy. I'll do it tomorrow. That is one of the traps of self-improvement, is there are certain things that don't actually need to be done today. That's one. And there are certain things that don't seem like they need to be done today, but they need to be done every day.
Mm-hmm.
And those are, so as an example, woke up today, did my little morning routine. I haven't been stretching in the morning because now I have found the research that says stretching the way I was doing it before weight training is dangerous for your muscles. And it's like, okay, I got to figure out a new freaking morning routine. So I'm all over the place with that. But I got back from the gym. I was in the office and a client messaged me and said, hey, when are those 2 YouTube videos going to be done? And I was like, today. I will have them to you today. They'll be done. And I cranked out the first one. Awesome. Cool. Done. And I started working on the second one, and I sent them an audio and I said, I don't think we should do this one. It's not great. I think we should go back to the drawing board. We can use the same title. We can use the same stuff, but the story's just, we need to go in a different direction.
Nice.
Yeah, totally agree, Kev. I was thinking the same thing. Cool. That thing that was supposed to get done today is now gone. Does not exist. okay, now I can move on to the next thing. But if you're like me and you fall into the trap of, I have 50 things I need to get done today, and unfortunately I'm not one of them, taking care of myself isn't one of them, I'm willing to bet that you can run that for a few days, or you can run it for a week. Maybe you can run it for a month. But eventually it's going to catch up to you, and you're going to start to resent that big opportunity, because that big opportunity is quite literally taking away from your self-improvement.
Yeah, this is why you can't have too many musts. It's brutal. Let's talk a little bit about where Kevin and I are fucking up.
I made a suggestion. I would love to do a What Went Wrong Wednesday weekly segment where we literally just talk about what went wrong from the previous Wednesday. Don't know if it's going to happen yet, but it was an idea I had, and Alan and I haven't discussed it yet. So now I'm putting him under social pressure.
Let's do one, see how it goes.
Okay.
All right, so where am I effing up, jeffing up? I haven't dreamlined. The Next Level Dreamliner.
Same.
Right here.
When's the last time?
3 weeks.
This is an unfortunate
Let's take
challenge I'm going to win, unfortunately.
Let's take a look. All right, the last time that I dreamlined was March 9th of 2025.
Yeah, you got me beat.
March 9th, yeah. Ooh. Now, here's the thing. The Dreamliner is literally set up for your own personal development. It starts out with gratitude. It starts out with identifying your most important tasks to get done. And then there's a next level lesson in there, little journaling prompt, a little question. It's perfect for working on your life as well as in your life, for working on yourself as well as in yourself.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yes.
Hell yes.
It's critical, very important. Haven't been doing it. It's event season, got overwhelmed. And this is the problem with success. So we've had a really good Q4 of last year, a really good Q1. This is the best quarter we've ever had at NLU. So very grateful. Stay grateful, stay humble. Do not get cocky. But here's the thing. 2 things that aren't happening that I'm starting to notice aren't happening. Because at first it's like, no big deal. 2-3 days, you don't notice. No big deal, no big deal, no big deal. And then all of a sudden it's, feeling a little all over the place. Feeling a little less aligned. This is the best metaphor. The train is on the tracks, and it's going. And then you're like, you know what? Dreamliner, no. All good. 2, 3, 4 days. Okay, 2, 3 weeks. It's all of a sudden it's like, oh shit. Right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. So the 2 things I'm jeffing. Dreamliner, which is journaling. Daily journaling, critical. You don't know the value of something until you don't do it for 3 weeks. And then the next one is mobility. I was doing legs the other day.
Oh, no.
Doing a little leg extension.
Throw out the trick hip.
Not the hip. Hip's fine. Left knee. Ooh. Not great. No warm-up. Dumb. Dumb, man. Just dumb. Not smart. Unintelligent choices lead to bad outcomes. That is it.
It's hard, though, because it doesn't seem that necessary.
Until you blow your knee out.
Well, until you blow your knee out. But I think the sad thing, not really, but the sad thing is most of us don't ever get to the place where we blow our knee out. It just is a degradation. It just isn't that noticeable. Like, I don't notice that I haven't journaled. Very honestly. Like, I do. I don't.
Emilia said to me recently, she said, have you been dreamlining? Because she can tell. She can tell when the train is like. And again, I want to make this very clear. It's not like I'm running amok.
Yeah.
Right? But at the end of the day, there's 10 out of 10 aligned Alan, and there's 9 out of 10, and there's 8 out of 10, and there's 7 out of 10, and it's going in the wrong direction. That's for sure. As we get more overwhelmed.
Same. And Alan and I have been talking about after the event and after, I think, the middle of April, we will have a rebuild where we will redesign things, because it's been a minute since we've redesigned things.
NLU 8.0, rebrand, redesign, inside and out. The whole business is going to be redesigned and realigned.
But we all need that. We all need that to some degree. I mean, I think it's really easy to just run on autopilot, especially if certain things are going really well. My fitness is going really well. The business is going really well. Like, there are some things that are going really well that are just kind of on autopilot. But you lose a lot of the awareness, situational awareness, and the environmental awareness, and the self-awareness when that happens. So I don't want to beat the success makes things harder horse to death. Is that what it is? Beat a dead horse? Whatever it is. I love animals. I'm not beating any animals to death, I promise. Just an analogy or whatever it is. But I think that this is something I'm super guilty of. And it's getting better. I recognize it sooner. But I had a moment today where it was like, I got to start putting me first.
Again, yeah.
Again, not nobody, you can't get a hold of me until noon. Don't bother calling, don't bother texting. No, not that. But now it's very much reactive. And again, 20 minutes goes a long way. You're going to have 20 minutes of time to yourself to do a couple things. The Dreamliner takes 5 minutes for me. That 5-minute investment is well worth it. And honestly, what else am I going to get done? Really, if we really thought about it, what else is a better use of 5 minutes than that? Yeah, I can do some client work in 5 minutes. I'm not going to get that much done. Next Level Nation, we are very, very excited to announce that we are doing our first purely virtual Next Level Live on April 5th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alan and myself will be live streaming from Worcester, Massachusetts.
Next Level Live 2025. Be there. It's only $47 for a full day of personal development, self-improvement, holistic health, wealth, life, and love.
We have a global audience. Obviously, if you live somewhere else in the world, it's hard to come across the country or across the world for a one-day event, so we wanted to make sure it was accessible to everyone.
You're not going to get to the next level of your life by default. You're going to get there by design. Join us. Design that next level. This is the drift. This is what happens.
The drift.
There's a couple metaphors I love with this. One of them is the pit stop in NASCAR. Imagine a car that just keeps hammering, no pit stop. Tires fly right off that thing.
They could. Things could happen.
The other one is you're on a lake in an inner tube and you fall asleep for 10 minutes. And all of a sudden, you're halfway down the beach. Or, insert metaphor here. But ultimately, that's what happens to all of us. We all drift. That's why I love tracking.
Yeah.
I was on with a client earlier, and I said, I need you tracking. That tracking keeps you on track. I need you to track. Got to do it.
How intentional have you been with tracking? Normal?
Pretty good on the spreadsheet.
But
my Dreamliner, not so well. But I'm talking today. I was in there, yeah.
Yeah, but are you really going through? Like, I'm in there every day as well, but a lot of it's just drag and drop.
I've been pretty intentional lately.
I've been doing the same shit, pretty much.
Yeah, I've been really quite intentional with my tracker. I've not been intentional with mobility, with my personal development in the morning, and with my Dreamliner. But my tracker is the best it's ever been, actually. Okay. Yeah, really good. I have 3 self-esteem trackers. I have, I think, 9 metrics, and I think I have 18 habits. And the fact that I even know that, dude, when I don't track, I don't have the certainty necessary to succeed. That's why I texted you earlier. I said, because there's certain things I track that require Kevin to track. I'm like, hey man, what's this number? Is this accurate? But why do I track? Tracking creates certainty. Certainty creates confidence. Confidence creates action. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates results. But honestly, even having this conversation right now I can tell I'm tracking too many things. So after some of the event and all this stuff that we got going on, I'm going to have to redesign, re-essentialize, reprioritize, re-essentialize, whatever word you want to use. But we're winning really well. We're doing a very good job in business. Growing the business has been tremendous. We're doing a great job. Fitness, pretty good for me. I'm in a cut now. I'm definitely hungry. It sucks, but I'm okay. And my relationship is probably lagging. So my relationship right now is a 7. My fitness is a 8. And the business is a 9. The mission's a 9. 7, 8, 9. Doing pretty well in those 3 things. But quite frankly, everything else is not great. I mean, Emilia's been doing the food every day. She's been ordering all the groceries. I mean, she's doing everything. She's doing the kitty litter. She's doing the pets. She's just doing everything. So I can't keep this up for long. I need a redesign desperately, yeah. And I think it's good for us to talk about this because I don't want to be a podcaster who pretends that everything's fine all the time.
Well, that's why I want to do the What Went Wrong Wednesday. That's like my thought process behind that was every week there's a time penciled in where we have to talk about what's going wrong. I like that. I think it's important to talk about. Now, again, do we have to do it every week? We're weird like that, where if we're going to do it, it has to. If it's not on a cadence, it's just not going to get done. That's the way it works. It's just the way it works.
Can we do what went right and what went wrong and what went right and what went wrong?
We always talk about what went right.
Do we? I feel like we're negative Nellies over here talking about where we suck all the time.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. I would like to do something like that though, just from your.
Let's do it, man.
From
if we
your
hate it, we'll can it.
Yeah, right.
Listeners, let us know. Instagram DM. Looking at the last 8 years, that's the best place. DM on Instagram. I think it's great.
Hit us up. Everything's in the show notes always. Every episode.
Please reach out. Please, we love that. As overwhelmed as we are, I just talked to someone yesterday who I used to coach 3 years ago. It's just awesome to catch up. So DM listeners, please DM us. Let us know what's going on. Let us know what episodes you like. Let us know if you think Kevin sucks. I mean, whatever.
I can't imagine many of those coming my way, but if you have, you feel free to send them over. It will wreck my day. Just know that. It will wreck my day. And I'll probably pretend I didn't see it. All right, what's your next level lesson? Because I know we have a few minutes left here. This is a shorter episode because Alan and I we're both having lots of breakthroughs / hinging on breakdowns. So every time we meet, we talk a lot about like, hey, what are you going through? What are the lessons you're learning? And that eats up a lot of our recording time. There's, again, to Alan's point, we're running a very unsustainable train right now. Mm-hmm. So things will evolve as they
keep it on the rails.
We're trying.
My next level lesson is your own personal development, working on yourself. Sometimes it feels like it can't be put first. And I know there are seasons when it can't. I understand that. I remember when we first moved into this new house, it definitely couldn't be me first. When we first got a new pet, Tiger Lily, it couldn't be me first, that kind of thing. When we first started growing the team, 18-person team, blah, blah. But you can only get away with not putting your own personal development first for so long before things start to go off the rails.
Mine would be have a plan for it. Have a plan where when I get overwhelmed or when I get a new opportunity or when I'm going off the rails, I have an off the rails plan. Because that's better than no plan. Even to your point, Alan, I still have a morning routine. It's just not as good as it was a few months ago. Still good. I still wake up. I still go to the gym. I still drink enough water. I'm getting more sleep than I've ever gotten. Like, there are things that are going really well, but there are certain things that I just am noticing that need a little bit of extra work. And again, this is a pattern that I've had in the past for sure. So now I just catch it quicker. And I'm not coming to Alan saying, I don't know, man, I'm super unfulfilled. I don't know what the hell's going on. Now it's like, oh, okay, my morning routine and my self-improvement and my own personal development were locked in. Now they're kind of secondary. It's okay for them to be secondary for a little bit, but that cannot be the normal. Because the second that becomes the normal, everything gets all jiffed.
Agreed.
You dig?
Very much, yeah.
Cool beans. All right, Next Level Nation. If you are looking to grow as a person, as a podcaster, and as a business owner, our next round of group coaching, which Alan is calling the podcast, Next Level Podcast Accelerator. Mm-hmm. Pretty sexy, is starting April 15th. So we changed it up a lot. So it used to be 6 calls with Alan, myself, and Amy. And then on the off weeks of those 6 calls, there would be 6 calls with Amy. I was on a bunch of them last time, the off-week calls, and Alan was too. So you might end up getting 12 calls. I don't know what's happening. But I can assure you, as with anything and everything NLU, this is well worth the money. We didn't start this saying, how do we make as much money as possible? It was, how do we add as much value as possible? So if you're a podcaster who wants to grow yourself so you can grow your podcast and then grow your business or figure out how to start a business, we'll have the link in the show notes for that. We would love to have you join.
For the listeners of this show, use promo code NLU listener, spelt just like it sounds, at checkout. You will get 30% off. It comes to, if you add up all 12 sessions, it comes to less than $25 per session. It is the most affordable group coaching program that I've ever personally seen.
Yes.
So we hope that you join us. It's awesome, and we work on it. We never present the same thing, so we've iterated and improved for about to be 18 groups. So we hope to see you there.
100%. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. At NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep it next level. Next Level Nation.